back? Yeah, I think that's probably best. Clover nodded and left. Junpei was about to follow her when he realized that Seven wasn't following suit. So it would join in after. Jesus! Hey Seven, what's up? Oh, well. He looked up at Junpei distractedly and then back down at the brown bottle he cupped in his large hands. What's that? In response, Seven tossed the bottle gently to Junpei. He caught it and twisted it around to read the label. Ethylene diamine tartrate. EDT. It's tartaric ethylene diamine. No! What kind of medicine is that? It's not medicine. I think it's an industrial strength detergent. Why would they have something like that? Here. Well, probably to clean stuff up. Clean what up? Fuck if I know. Still, it looks like it's cleaned my brain up. Junpei looked up from the bottle. You remember something? Seven nodded, slowly, and spoke. Well, I remember a story about EDT. It happened about 50 years ago. There was this factory somewhere in America making big old DDT crystals. They were making it to sell as industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before. But a year after the factory started up, something strange started happening to the crystals they were building. Water molecules started attracting themselves to the EDT crystals. This made them into a sort of mutation of the original crystals called hydrate. Once the crystals turn into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals as a hydrate. They were useless, as he just said. But it didn't end there. After that day, the same thing started happening in EDT factories everywhere, even ones nowhere near the first American factory. They had been making crystals the same way, and with the same materials and the same equipment and environment. But now, all of a sudden, every single crystal they formed turned into a hydrate. In fact, ever since that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make pure EDT crystals. Even in the EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten a hydrate. But after it happened, at the first factory, it just spread. Oh, we also had a conversation like this last stream, by the way. With Lotus instead. It was like, man, how do I say it? How do you say it? Like the molecules were communicating with one another? Transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive? This phenomena spread throughout the world? Right? Junpei looked at Seven with a heavy smirk. Seven stared at him, dumbfounded. Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know? I heard another story kinda like that one. When? In the freezer. What? The freezer? Junpei told Seven the story he heard from June in the freezer. Oh, it was June, not Lotus. Lotus. In the freezer in the kitchen. I see you guys! You can talk to me, even though I'm, paying attention to the game or something. But you can talk to us. We don't bite. Hard.
Hi. What?
I'm talking to the chat? The chat isn't updating on my side?
It's not on mine either.
Yeah, so I'm saying that they can chat,
Okay.
Huh? How one
They
day...
know that.
Just saying. How one day, glycerin began to crystallize. And the story of ice that wouldn't melt at room temperature. We're so absorbed in the story, though. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. When Junpei was done, Seven looked thoughtful and absentmindedly rubbed the scar on his chin. Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature? It sounds familiar. Yeah, hold up. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there. Seven squinted. His eyes stared off into space as if he were trying desperately to focus on something far away. Hi, Desi Gaming TV! Hi!
Hello.
Welcome to the stream! Welcome! Do you know something about it? Know about Ice 9? I mean, I'm just gonna say Ice 9. It's the one that makes sense to go immediately through to it because we know it's Ice 9. You know? Do you know about Ice 9? Ice
What?
9. From last stream, we learned that the ice that doesn't melt at room temperature is called Ice 9 from June.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, Ice 9. Ooh,
What?
there seems to be something
Funny with the nines in this game.
familiar.
What about nines? Do you have any nines? Should I go fish for nines?
We're playing
99999.
9999999, which is my second favorite game. My favorite being V V V V V
V
V
V V
V
V
V
V
V V
V
V
V
V
V
V V
V.
V V V.
Suddenly, Seven's eyes shot open. That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat. Wait, what woman? What? So it was worth nearly dying to learn about Ice Nine. Apparently so. That woman? Alice. Who's Alice? Come on, the woman who won't melt at room temperature. What? It became clear to Seven that Junpei had no idea what he was talking about. He ran his hand across his face and took a deep breath. You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right? Yeah. More than 1,500 people died because I can't numbers. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it? Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies? Vivi is one of my favorite characters ever. And next to the Mughals. Mughals. So cute. I think it was the RMS Carpathia, right? It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic. No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. There was a ship that collected the dead bodies. I messed up.
Man, they all seem to. Why do they all know so much about the Titanic?
Because maybe that's the reason that they were kidnapped, because they know about the Titanic.
Not, Zero's mission is to kill everyone who knows anything about the Titanic.
Yep.
I.e., everyone on the planet.
The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS Mackay Bennett. The Mackay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada. Hey, shout out to my Canadian followers and people that are watching right now. Hey, shout out to Canada. Hey. And recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic, that far north, was really cold. It would have to be, for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid. This is a very nice story. By the way, you guys, the people who are just following, if you want to play a really good RPG, try Bravely Default. And please, please, go through it until the end. So good! Anyway. You're attached to Canada like a sore thumb. You're also...
Like a sore thumb? I don't think that's that phrase.
Nah. You're also almost once attached to Russia. Ha 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 ha. So what happened
Can
next?
you see Russia from your backyard?
Well, they say that Mackay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies. There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water, things the drowned had carried with them or stuff dislodged as the ship sank. One of the things they found was a coffin. A coffin? Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled. It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood. There were no nails or reinforcements and there were no gaps in the wood anywhere. It was airtight. The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. and they had to get a wedge and a hammer to open it. It was so well made. Inside, they found a woman, or I guess you'd say they found the dead body of a woman. Her hair was thick and black. Her skin was deep brown and didn't show any signs of age or decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. She didn't though. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished the search and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to melt. They say that the stink was horrible. If I move towards the Aleutian Islands, probably, yeah. Ha ha ha, Canada and Russia and the US, ha ha ha, ha. Sorry. But there was one body that didn't thaw. The girl in the coffin. That's right. Everybody thought for sure she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them, eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. Then a month had passed and another, and it was summer and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about the girl started to spread, and people came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice. Alice. But of course, those rumors didn't last long. Why? Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there and the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. And after a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find the newspaper from back then, but that's about it. Wait, you just said that she was on this boat. Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere in the ship. Now, why the hell would you say something like that? Because I know. And just what is it, you know? What happened to Alice after she was stolen? 7? What the hell happened? What? Junpei gulped. Alright, tell me. What happened to Alice? Indulge me. 7 nodded and slowly and took the look of a man recalling something long buried. For a man with the problems with his own memory, you clearly remember a lot of random stupid facts. Well, around that time, the word was that there was a thriving black market in New York. I mean, I'm sure there still is, but this was special. All millionaires from all over the world. I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain. You've heard that name before, right? Yes, Ed read it to us at the beginning of this stream. Sir Gordain. Isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic, the Titanic sister ship? Yep, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet. What do you mean? Gordain bought Alice in 1912. Then 4 years later, in 1916, he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere in the Gigantic. And nobody knows where. He died in 1931. And apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden. However what? Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the forest of knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic." What the hell is that? Some kind of riddle? Your guess is as good as mine. 7 threw his hands up in defeat. So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship. Before Junpei could dispute 7's rather bizarre claim, they heard Clover's voice from the door. She did not sound pleased. Hey, what are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here. Okay, we're coming. Ugh. 7 looked at Junpei